I also take this opportunity to welcome you to this next episode where we're going to be looking at the bone tissue. In the previous episode, we were able to look at the cartilage tissue. So in case you have not yet watched the previous episode, please check in the links within the description or check in the link up here so that you can get all the descriptions about the previous video. In this video, we are going to look at the bone tissue because we saw in the previous videos that the bone tissue is also a special form of connective tissue. Remember, we are in histology. And now we are looking at connective tissue, and specifically, we are looking at this special connective tissue, and in particular, we are now going to look at the bone tissue. Now, bone, in the previous video, we were able to look at the cartilage and the different and these unique features about the cartilage. Now, for the case of bone, on the other hand, this bone, for it is a very important tissue because it plays a role in protection. Bones protect. For example, the skull is a bone which is protecting the brain. These bones also provide support. So without bones, I will not be standing like the way I'm standing here. I'm able to stand like this straight because I have bones. Bones provide with me support. And also, these bones also they play some important metabolic roles. Metabolic roles, why? Because some of these bones are reserves for some ions, like calcium ions, which play a role, different role in different metabolic processes, like, for example, muscle contraction and so on. So that's why we need to look at them and internalize them and appreciate them. So we want to look at the histology of a bone tissue now. Bones, like any other tissue, we are saying these bones are, like any other connective tissue, they have a matrix. They have a matrix, and we are saying this matrix is more organic. They have a matrix, and within this matrix, there are many what? There are cells. There are cells and what? And fibers. And basically, because bone is provides more of supportive role, plays a lot of supportive role, these fibers are going to be basically collagen fibers. They're going to be basically collagen fibers that you're going to find there because we have seen that collagen fibers, wherever they are, they provide more strength. And then we are saying that apart from the cells having these cells and fibers, something special about this bone is that the bones have got salts. They contain this matrix. This matrix here contains a lot of what? A lot of salts. And these salts include, like, for example, calcium phosphate. We have a lot of calcium phosphate. We can also have calcium carbonate. All those salts are present there within the matrix. And it is these salts that make it stronger, that makes it to be stronger, that makes it to be harder. These salts here, which we saw that they were not present in the cartilage. So these ions here make the bone to be even much more stronger. Yeah. So when you come to bones, we are saying that bones are of two categories. And what are these two categories? These two categories are, we have got what we call a compact bone. We have got to call a compact bone, and we have also got to call a spongy bone. Spongy bones are mostly like, there are some bones which are called flat bones, like in the skull. The skull, an example here, the skull is a spongy bone. And someone may say, spongy, I thought spongy is something very soft, and the skull is hard. Yeah, at first it is a spongy bone, just that some external parts later turned into what? Into compact bone to provide protection, for example, if it is for the skull. Then we have also got like the likes of the clavicle. We have got like the clavicle within the shoulder region and the rest of the other bones. So here we have got examples that we have flat bones, the skull and the rest. Those ones are examples of spongy bone. And then we have got a compact bone. Now the compact bone here we have longer bones. Here longer bones, we look at the likes of the humerus, the femur, the tibia, and so on and so forth. The fibula, the humerus, and so on. Those ones we find them they are all under the compact bone. Now, another thing is that when you compare these two, we are saying compact bone are kind of harder. They are kind of harder, and we are saying the way they are formed, the way these two bones are formed is not the same. These bones are formed in different ways. For example, the process by which bones are formed is called ossification. So when you hear the word ossification somewhere, this ossification is referring to the process by which the process of bone formation. The process by which bones are formed is called ossification. Now, the way a spongy bone is formed and the way a compact bone is formed is not the same. For example, a spongy bone, like the likes of the skull and the rest, the clavicle and so on, are formed through a form which is known as intramembranous ossification. Intramembranous ossification. This is the form within which the spongy bone is formed, which we shall also look at. Then the compact bone is formed. Here we have said we have longer bones, such as, for example, I've given you, like, for example, humerus, and any other, radius, ulna, and so on. Fibula. Now we are saying here these ones are formed in a form. They are formed through a process known as endochondrial ossification. Now, if you want to know more about these different types, you need to make sure that you don't miss out. You make sure that you check out for the other episodes which are coming ahead of this, which are coming after this episode, because that's when you're going to extract more. That's when you're going to expound more of these two types of ossification. Now, if we are going to talk about these types of ossification in the other episodes, you might ask yourself that now, during this episode, what are we going to look at? Now, in this episode, I'm going to expound more on the structure, of a compact bone. In this episode, we are going to expound more on what is the structure, how is the structure of a compact bone. That's what we are going to appreciate within this episode. So we are going to look at the structure of a compact bone. Now, a compact bone, of course, I've told you that this compact bone is, they are found in the examples we have, like long bones, like the likes of the humerus and the rest. So for those longer bones, you usually find them when they have something which is like this. This appearance, within, if you have a bone which is like this, this appearance, it has got some key parts that we need to know right away. Some of this part which is in the middle, this part which is in the middle, sometimes they call it shaft. You can call it a shaft, but it also has a special name, which special name is called diaphysis. Then this part at the extreme end here, this part at the extreme end, and this one is at the extreme, which is swollen. It is called epiphysis. So this is called epiphysis. This is also called epiphysis. And for these longer bones at the extreme end here, we usually find there some small layer around this extreme end. We have a small layer of cartilage. Now somebody might say, how come? We are going to see why we have some small layer of cartilage at the extreme end. Of course, the cartilage is to reduce on the friction. But we want to see why is there cartilage. How come that we finally end up having cartilage there? We are going to see it when we are in the next episode, where we have ossification process. Now, this is a simple structure of a longer bone, where we have diaphysis, epiphysis, and then epiphysis. When there are many, you remove this word. You remove this letter I and you put E. That one becomes epiphyses when there are many. Now, we are saying this is the appearance right away from the outside, from the external part, the external area. But now we are saying, assume I come and I go on this bone here, and I cut it transversely. After cutting it transversely, now I look at it I look at the transverse section. Like, for example, if this is my long bone, I come and I cut it like this, then I look at this extreme end. How is the appearance? This is how the appearance is. So in the transverse section, this is how the appearance is. You have got a circle, you have got something which is actually like this. And then now this is like the whole extent, the outside part. You have something which is like this. Then inside here, you find there very many enclosures, very many structures which are like circles, which are circular, something like that. So that is the appearance when you cut, when you cut this bone transversely. This is how the appearance is. Each of these circular-like structures are called, we refer to them as a Haversian system. So it means a compact bone is made up of very many Haversian systems. So when you check here, all these ones are very many of Haversian systems. And of course, all these Haversian systems are enclosed in a membrane, and this membrane is called periosteum. And another thing that you also need to know is that each Haversian system, you can also give it another name. Each Haversian system, you can call it an osteon. Now, I want you to note this. Unlike in Carthage in the previous video where we have in the word chondroblasts, chondrocytes, chondrine, and so on. Here, as far as bone is concerned, you're going to find the word oste, common. For example, now I've told you that this, the different Haversian systems, these ones which are inside here, which are enclosed by a membrane known as periosteum. Now I've told you that each system you are seeing inside here is called an osteon. So we are still going to continue to see this word oste becoming too much. Now we are saying a compact bone is made up of very many Haversian systems, but allow me pick out now one Haversian system and we look at it in details. Now whatever I'm going to pick out one Haversian system and describe it, but whatever we are going to be describing in one Haversian system is present, is a replica, is what is present in all the other systems that are within a bone, within a compact bone. So if I pick out one, if I come here and I pick out one, assume I come and I pick out one Haversian system. Assume I come and I pick out one Haversian system. Now in this Haversian system, this is what we find there. I am going to describe I'm going to base my description from inside, outside. So we are going to start from inside to the outside. Each Haversian system has got a canal in the middle there. It has got a canal, and this canal is called Haversian. Haversian canal. We have got a canal which is called Haversian canal. In the middle, at the center there, at the center here, and this canal is like a head. What the canal is like a tube. This canal, its importance is that this canal contains blood vessels. It contains nerves, and so on. And all these ones, of course, you know, so it means the bone has got blood vessels, has got nerves. So all blood vessels, for example, if it's a bone, you find there is a tube-like structure here, a tube-like structure which ensures that which transports blood vessels to different parts of the bone. So blood vessels move within this area to different regions of the what? Of the compact bone. So that's the work of the Haversian canal. Then from there, around this Haversian canal, we have got another special layers which surround this canal. And what are those special layers? These special layers, we actually call them concentric layers. They come surrounding the Haversian canal in this format here. So these concentric layers have a special name, and that special name we call them lamellae. When it is one, we call it lamella. When there are many, you just add an E. We call them lamella. So we are saying a compact bone contains very many Haversian systems surrounded by a structure known as periosteum. Now, each Haversian system is composed of a Haversian canal within which blood vessels, nerves move. These blood vessels supply the bone cells with different materials, oxygen, and so on. The nerves are for coordination. And then we are saying around the Haversian canal, there are very many concentric layers known as lamellae. Now, somebody might say, what's the importance of these lamellae? These lamellae, of course, we swear we are going to find these ones contain structures, or structures we call lacunae. These contain lacunae. They contain simple structures which are known as lacunae. enclosures known as lacunae. This word lacunae we also saw it even in the cartilage. And what is in this lacunae? So you find that you have layers here, then within this lacunae, within these layers, you find some special structures. Now, I want you to look at the format I'm using to draw. I'm just going to use a few. If I come and I put like 1, 2, and 3 circles here, those circles I'm putting there actually the lacunae. Now, these enclosures I'm putting there are the lacunae. Now, when I'm going to go to the next level, I make sure the next circle I'm going to put, I put it between this and this. So I'm going to come and put it here. Even here, I'll come and I put it here, in between this and this. Then I'll put another one in between this and this, like that. Then if I'm going to put in the outermost concentric layer, I'll also come and I put another circle. If this is here and here, I'll put the other circle here, somewhere like there. Then I also come and I put another one in between these two, which is here. Then I'll come and I put another one maybe somewhere like there. I've said to use just a few for illustration. Now, these structures I put here are the ones I'm calling. These are the ones that I'm calling what? These are the ones I'm calling the lacunae. Now, the question is, of course, when it is one, we call it a lacuna. Now, we are saying, what's the importance of the lacuna? Now, we are saying this lacuna is the one which contains. This lacunae is the one which contains. This one here contains the bone what? Contains the bone cells. Contain the bone cells. And now, as far as the bone is concerned, the cells are of very many types. We have got the bones such as some of the bone cells. We have got cells we call osteoblasts. We have got cells we call osteoblasts. Osteoblasts, these are active bone cells. The cells of these are the active bone cells, the ones which are responsible for even producing the bone matrix. Remember, I've told that a bone, like any other connective tissue, has got a matrix which is much organic with a lot of collagen fibers. So the bone matrix is produced by these cells which are calling the osteoblasts. Likewise, we are saying that these other bone cells which are present within those lacunae, we also have what we call osteocytes. These osteocytes are the less active. Bone what? Are the less active bone cells. Yeah, as you know, anything that does something, of course, at a given point is active, and at a given point it becomes less active. So the one which are more active are called osteoblasts. The one which are less active are called osteocytes. However, in a bone, these osteocytes can be activated, even in case there is a need. In case there is a need, these osteocytes can be activated back into osteoblasts, and then they start producing the bone matrix. Then the other cells we have are called osteoclasts. These osteoclasts are also bone cells which play an important role, whose work is to reabsorb. These ones reabsorb the matrix, the bone matrix. And these ones are therefore important in remodeling of the bone. In case the bone needs to be modified, assume it has grown, it needs to be modified. For example, you need to form a bone marrow, things like that. The work of this osteoclast will come in to ensure that it absorbs the matrix so it can create enough space where we can have a bone marrow. And also that space that is created by these bones, by these cells which are called osteoclasts, can also be used. They can also be used for penetration of of blood vessels and nerves further within the bone. So in case there is need for reconstruction within the bone, it will be the work of osteoclasts to help us to create some way where we can have any other modification on the bone be performed. So that's the work of the osteoclasts. So all these cells are found within the structures which are called the lacunae. Then within this lacunae, we also have between these lacunae. So we are saying in this lacunae we have bone cells. Now we are saying, now you can ask yourself that, if I have a hole here and I have this lacunae, the bone cells are all this side. Then the question is, how are they interconnected? How do they get interconnected? How do they communicate with each other? Now between these different lacunae, these different bone cells in the different lacunae, within different lamella, we have interconnection. We have some structures which connect them. What are those structures? These structures, we have got a structure which have some canals which connect the Haversian canal to this lacuna. Likewise to this lacuna. Likewise to this lacuna, like that. And then from here, we have a connection with that one, with this, and then with that. Then this one is connected to this one here, connected to that. This one is connected to this, is connected to the other one like that. This one also connects to this one like that, like that. This one connects to this like that. This one can later be connected to this one like that. Then can later come and gets connected with this. This one is connected to that like that. Then it also comes and gets connected with that. So now these small canals, these things that I've labeled here, these ones which are connecting this lacuna with this lacuna, this canal here has got a name, and that name is called Canaliculi. Canaliculi. Some friend of mine was calling it Canaliculi, but it's Canaliculi. Some people call it Canaliculi. Now these are small canals. These are small canals. These are canals, and these canals they contain blood vessels. Blood vessels. They contain bone. They also contain nerves and so on. As you see, it means when blood vessels come and they are moving here, it is from here where they branch and they enter. They come into this lacunae and supply these bone cells with nutrients. And then from here, we can also have blood being be distributed. From here it comes and it gets distributed this side. Then from here to here like this. So all these blood vessels are moving within those simple canals, those small canals, and those canals are the ones we are calling the Canaliculi. So the Canaliculi are small canals which interconnect the different cells, which ensure communication between the different bone cells, which are found in different lacunae, which the different lacunae are found in different lamellae. So for easy communication is done through the Canaliculi. I know you are learning something. Why don't you subscribe? Why don't you share this video to somebody near you? So we are saying, in simple terms, so this is the whole structure. So in case somebody asks that to describe the structure of a compact bone, this is what you have to tell them, that a compact bone is a structure which is made up of very many Haversian systems, and we are saying these Haversian systems are called osteons, surrounded by a membrane which is known as periosteum. We are saying in each Haversian system we find there a canal known as Haversian canal. This Haversian canal contains blood vessels, nerves, and so on. Blood vessels supply bone cells with nutrients and so on. Now we are saying around the Haversian canal we have got concentric layers known as lamellae. These lamellae contain structures we call lacunae. Now when we come to lacunae, we are saying within lacunae we find there bone cells. What are those bone cells? The bone cells are all here. We have mentioned them, each one of them, and the functions that each one does within a bone. And then we are saying the communication between the different bone cells within different areas is brought about by different canals that connect those bone cells, those lacunae together. And those canals that interlink different lacunae containing different bone cells are called Canaliculi. And that is the simple structure of a compact bone. I hope you have learned something. In the next episode, we are going to look at how a compact bone is formed. And therefore, you don't need to miss that one. Let me meet you there. Thank you very much.